Friends, if I could ask you, if you haven't already, you've had enough time to turn your phones onto silent if you haven't already. If you have flash on your cameras or on your phones, please turn the flash off. It's okay if you want to take any photos, but please keep the flashes off. And remember, if you're sitting there doing that on your phone, that little annoying blue light is going to bother the person behind you. There are some more people, when they arrive, we'll just try and slip them in to any seats. Like I said, if there are any seats, it's easier if they're on the end. Our guests are just going to come out. When they come out, if we just give them a lovely, lovely, warm community welcome when they sit, I'll then introduce them and then we'll hand over to them. Again, thank you so much for your patience, and hopefully they're going to come out now. Some more coming. Okay.
Thank you. We have a young member in our delegation. He's almost 3 months old, so there's a slight delay.
Okay, so welcome, friends. Welcome to JW3, the home of Jewish culture and conversation. I'm Raymond Simonson. I'm very proud and privileged to be the CEO. This is a centre where, over the past decade since we opened, we've continually sought to increase the quality, the variety, and especially the volume of Jewish conversation. A great example of that is the UK's largest ever Jewish mural that hopefully you all saw. I'm sure you couldn't miss it on your way in. Since the tragic terrorist attacks on October the 7th, our team here at JW3 have stepped up to do what we can to support the wider Jewish community in so many ways, particularly including a range of projects to highlight this horrific, ongoing humanitarian issue of our mishpacha, our family, that are being held in the most unimaginable circumstances. It's so good to see so many of you here that were here when we had our empty Shabbat table, which was back in October. I can't believe it was back in October, and we thought, you know, these kind of events will put enough pressure on that we'll see them home. Some of you came here to meet Ada Sagi, that incredible 75-year-old brave Israeli woman who was held in hostage for 53 days until she was released, and she came over and there was a reception here at JW3. Many of you were here for that, or for the Yellow Piano, or for many of these other events. And I hope all of you have seen the Lovelock Hostage Bridge when you crossed over it today. And if you haven't had the opportunity to write your message of love and support to the hostages on a lock, we have more padlocks. We've put more padlocks out there. When the event's finished, if you've got 2 minutes before you go home, please take one of the locks. We've got special pens. Write your message and add it to that. It's unbelievable. There are over 2,000 locks now on that bridge. And tragically, every day that it grows, it reminds us, you know, it's our symbol of our love for our family, but it reminds us that they are still not home. We know that within our community, we think about, we talk about, we pray for the hostages every single day. But unfortunately, outside of our community, it often feels like they've been forgotten. It was a news story from last October. Move on. We know that the Torah describes the Jewish people as ish echad belev echad, or as we often say, am echad belev echad, one people with one heart. And that's what we are. We are one people with one heart. We are like one body. We feel for each other. And we see every Jew as a vital part of the entire Jewish people. So you are our family, our mishpacha, who are here this evening. And it's our family that are being held hostage. We know what it means to feel echad belev echad, one people with one heart. So I just want to finish with just a very brief personal reflection. Those of you that know me well maybe have described me in the past as an optimist. But friends, it's been really hard to be an optimist for the last 290 days. So it's actually not about optimism, but about something that we learned from our former Chief Rabbi, Lord Jonathan Sacks, Zichrono Livracha, that taught us optimism and hope are not the same thing. Optimism is the belief that the world is changing for the better. Hope is the belief that together we can make the world better. Optimism is a passive virtue and hope is an active one. And so I invite all of you here today to have hope. We know that hope in Hebrew is tikva, that is our national anthem, the tikva, and we know that we always sing Od lo avda tikvatenu. Our hope is not yet lost. And when we see the next generation, a baby on our stage, we have to have hope for the future of our community. And we have hope that our hostages will be released soon and that the end of this war for everybody affected will be over soon. And so I'd now like to hand over to Efrat Perry, Director of Public Diplomacy at the Israeli Embassy. Efrat, please.
Thank you, Raymond. Thank you, Raymond, and Fran, and the rest of the team at JW3 for organizing this important event. Part of my role at the embassy is the connection with the Jewish community, and so this type of event is very important for us as well. It's important for us to acknowledge your support from day one and this wonderful initiative of community adopt a hostage, which I hope later maybe there will be some opportunities for meetings with the families. I would like to introduce the families. Yair Keshet is the uncle of Yarden Bivas. Cherut Nimrodi, she is the mother of Tamir Nimrodi. Ilan and Mirav Dalal, parents, that's right, Gilboa Dalal, parents of Guy Gilboa Dalal, and Ella Chaimi, wife of Tal Chaimi. And Lotan, son of Tal Chaimi. So without further ado, and I know we have a slight delay, and we apologize about that, I would like to start.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having us here. It is very important for us to see the hug and the love that we got from you because we need it. Everybody in the hostage family needs it. So, unfortunately, I'm here holding here these photos. Not one picture. I have four members of my family. All four members of this family. Two children with their parents. Whole family was taken, kidnapped by the terrorists of Hamas. Shiri's parents also were murdered and burned inside Nero's in their home. I don't know what to say. I don't know. We are just hoping. If you're asking us, do we know? We know nothing. Hamas give us no answers. Sometimes there is a picture or something that the IDF find and maybe can give us sign of life. But also we can trust this sign of life, because what is true for yesterday might not be true for today. We just heard 2 days ago about two other that known as dead, murdered and dead. Each time that is happened that we hear these things, it's getting us lower and lower and lower. We need sign of life. We need hope. We have no hope. It's very difficult to have hope. That's why we are coming here to these places to meet many people as we can. Governments, politician people, and people like you, and don't think that you can do anything. You can, Everybody is connected to somebody else. Raise your voice, raise your voice. Support Israel, support the families here. Send, you have Instagram, you have social media. Use it, use it. Put a pressure on anybody that can help us. We need your help. You know, they took 2 flowers from us, 2 children. We want them back now. Sorry for that. This is my first time. This is my first time that I'm actually crying. Sorry, I can't. Maybe later. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Cherut. As you all know, the meaning of the word Cherut means freedom, means liberty. And this is my son, my oldest son, my only son. I have 2 other daughters, 17 and 15. And my son is an IDF soldier. And he's not combat fighter. He's in charge of the educational issues of his unit. Ironically, his unit is the COGAT. It's the humanitarian aid for the Palestinians in Gaza, which helps the citizens there to get jobs in Israel and get medical care in Israel and able to bring goods in and out of the Gaza Strip. But Hamas terrorists did not care who they were taking, who they were killing, who they were beheading, raping, slaughtering. And I got to text my son that morning. He tried to phone home, but it was very quiet. We do not live in the Gaza Strip area. We live near Kfar Saba, near Tel Aviv, and it was very quiet that morning. And I woke up from the telephone. I didn't get the chance to answer that phone, but I saw a message from him asking me if I was okay. I'm divorced with 2 daughters. He felt like he was responsible for us. He used to do kiddush every Friday night. He insisted on that to keep the family together, united. And I saw a message from him asking me if I was okay. And I said, sure, what is going on? He said, there are rockets and it's falling on our houses. Little did he know that at that point, the terrorists were already inside his base. He told me, maybe I will be home in a few hours, because that was the drill. The minute there were missiles, all the soldiers that are not combat fighters were released to go home. And I said, okay, take good care of yourself and keep me posted. He said, I will try. And that was in around 6:49 to be exact. And 20 minutes later, he was brutally abducted. We had no idea. We started to hear as the hours went by, we started to hear rumors about the penetration of Palestinian terrorists from the Gaza Strip, but we had no idea, and we couldn't imagine that they went into army bases. And we waited for hours, and around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, my daughter, my youngest daughter, 14 years old at the time, came screaming, "I'm seeing my brother being abducted." And she came to me with this video that Hamas posted on Instagram. And there he was, in his pajamas, barefoot, with no glasses on. You could hardly see without them. And he was terrified. And they were screaming and hitting them. There were 3 of them. They were beating them up. And the terrifying look on his eyes is the last thing I see every night before I go to sleep. Wondering what the hell is going through his mind as a mother to see your son and I can't do anything to help him, to relieve his pain. The last footage we saw was him being dragged by foot through the brick walls into the Gaza Strip. And since then, unfortunately, there's no indication whether he's alive or not. There are rumors that he didn't make it, but there's no certainty about it. And I just want to give you a glimpse of an 18-year-old boy, an 18 Israeli boy. When we received his belongings, we received his glasses and his shoes and the clothes he wore the night before. And there was a small note inside his pocket. And he wrote 3 sentences for himself. He said, I'd like to succeed helping a lot of people. I'd like to create a close circle of friends and not to harm anyone. He didn't think of how to destroy another person or how to build a tunnel or dismantle a bomb. He wanted to make this a better place. And I'm taking those words with me, and I hope there is still a chance I will see him. But this is something that the world needs to know, that we as Jews value life, and our enemies are taking advantage of that, and it becomes our weakness. They're using them as bargain tools, and the world needs to know and need to do anything in its power to, I lost my words, to destroy Hamas. and to bring those hostages back home to us, as they should continue their lives here. They're not only posters, those are real human beings that my son just started his life. He have dreams and ambitions, and every one of them should come back and rehabilitate their life. And we really need your support and to keep those stories alive, because people are starting to forget October 7th, and they're focusing only on the humanitarian situation in Gaza and forgetting what brought us to this point. And unless we'll get our children back, we will not stop. So thank you so much.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming here and hear us out. My name is Ilan. This is my wife, Merav. We're the parents of Guy Gilboa Dalal, which was abducted at October 7. Guy went to the music festival with some of his friends, and none of them came back home. Two of his friends were brutally murdered on that day, and Guy and his friend were kidnapped. Guy indicated his birthday 2 months ago while in captivity. He turned 23, and we never imagined that after 9 months he would still be not at home. Guy's brother, Gal, his older brother, also was in this festival, and he managed to survive after 10 hours of atrocities that he went through, and see some of his friends also getting hit and murdered. Guy is a musician. He loves computer games. He just finished education in computer science, and he started a new job before he was abducted. We miss him very much. It is very hard. Our lives actually stopped on October 7. We are still living that day over and over again. It was the last day of Sukkot. And Guy, when he went to this music festival, he promised me that he will be back in the next day on Saturday, and he will help me disassemble the sukkah. And he didn't come back, and the sukkah is still standing there and waiting for him to come back and help me disassemble it. These times are very hard times for the Jewish people all over the world and in Israel. Anti-Semitism raised its head really hard. You can feel it here in England and all over Europe. Islamic extremists are taking over, and the fight that Israel is fighting is not only Israel war, it's actually the war of the West against the dark forces that wish to destroy the world, destroy Israel. The Jewish people must stand together, because this is our force. During the history, many tried to eliminate the Jewish people, but they never succeed, because God is with us, and the Jewish people, when they stand together, nothing can harm them. We came here to ask your support in bringing up first, not to forget the hostages. always remember that there are 120 brothers and sisters still lying in the tunnels, in the dark tunnels of Gaza, with no clear air, in the dark, no proper food, no proper medical care. And I believe that the humanitarian condition is very bad. Unfortunately, the world only care now about the humanitarian condition of the Gazan people and blame Israel for this condition. And they forget that the one that kidnapped both Israelis and Palestinians is Hamas. And we must fight Hamas and eliminate him if we want a better future to Israel and to the rest of the world, because Hamas is a representative of darkness and evil forces like Iran and other terrorist organizations that only wish to make a chaos in the world, and now they take advantage of what happened in October 7, and those who hate Israel are aligning with them, and this is why we are in such a bad condition. My son also has dreams. He has friends. He has a life that is waiting for him. And we will never stop fighting until he and all other 120 hostages will come back home to their families. And we must work together in order to achieve that. Thank you.
I'm talk Hebrew because I'm talk about feeling, and in Hebrew I'm good.
I will translate.
אוקיי.
Okay.
קודם כל תודה לכולם שהגעתם.
Thank you, all of you, for coming.
אני רוצה לספר על החוויה שלנו כמשפחה, שלקחו לנו את הדבר היקר ביותר.
I want to talk about our experience as a family, that we were robbed by our most precious thing.
אני אימא גאה לשלושה ילדים, גל, גיא וגאיה.
I'm a proud mother for 3 children, Guy, Gael, וגאיה.
ולקחו לי אחד מהם.
And they took one of them.
לקחו לי חצי נשמה.
They took half of my soul.
מאז אותו יום, אני על
Since that
כדורים
day,
פסיכיאטריים.
I'm taking psychiatric pills.
אני לא יכולה לתפקד בלעדיהם.
I cannot function without them.
אני כל היום טרודה ועסוקה מה קורה לבן שלי.
I'm constantly thinking about what's happening to my son
שלא ראיתי אותו כבר 9 חודשים.
that I haven't seen for 9 months.
לא ראיתי, לא חיבקתי, לא נשמתי.
I haven't seen, I haven't hugged, I haven't breathed.
גיא שלי, אחד הילדים הכי מדהימים שיש בעולם.
My guy is one of the most amazing children in the world.
כשהוא הגיח לעולם, הדבר הראשון שהוא עשה, הוא אמר תודה. תודה לעולם.
When the first thing that he did when he came up to the world is to say, thank you world.
הוא ילד שיודע לכבד את ההורים שלו, לכבד את החברים שלו, לכבד את המדינה שלו.
He's a child that knows to respect his parents, his friends, and his country.
החוסר של גיא בבית זה חוסר ענקי.
The fact that he's not home is huge for us.
אין לנו אוויר יותר. אנחנו בקושי נושמים.
We don't have air anymore. We can hardly breathe.
לגיא יש לו אח ואחות.
He has a brother and a sister.
אח גדול שנאבק בכל העולם כדי להחזיר את אחיו.
A big brother that fights the entire world to bring back his own brother.
ואחות קטנה שלא יכולה בלעדיו.
And a little sister that can't live without him.
גיא חי באזור של פלסטינאים ויהודים ביחד, ותמיד דאג להיות גם בקשר איתם, היינו לוקחים אותם טרמפים, קונים אצלהם.
He used to live in a place mixed with Israelis and Palestinians, and we used to help them, take them for rides and
את גיא שלי חינכתי לחיות בטוב, בשלום ובאהבה.
I raised my son to live in goodness, in peace and in love.
גיא נסע למסיבה, לפסטיבל שנקרא שלום ואהבה.
He went to a festival that was called Peace and Love.
זה הערכים שלנו בבית, לאהוב את כולם, לתת מעצמך ולחיות בשלום.
This is our values at home, to love everyone and to live in peace.
ופה אני מרגישה את האהבה שלכם, ואני מודה לכם שאתם איתנו, כי אתם כוח. והידיעה הזאת שכולנו אחים וכולנו אחד בשביל השני, נותנת לנו את האפשרות להמשיך ולהילחם על גיא ועל כל החטופים.
And I thank you, and I feel your love, and I know that in your love is power, and with that power gives us strength to keep on, to fight for the release of our son and the rest of the hostages.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Ella. I'm Tal's wife. I'm from kibbutz Nir Yitzchak. It's on the border with Gaza Strip. I guess you know what is kibbutz. It's a small community that we live together, house by house. We shared properties. Everything actually is together. We're eating dinner together, lunch. We have laundry. Everything is together. And our routine life before October 7, we had sometimes rackets. It's not something you can use to, but we can live with it. We waited that something will happen, something good, some solution to this situation. But in October 7, the worst case has happened. We woke up at 6:30. We had, this time, 3 kids. We had twins. They are 10 years old, a boy and a girl. And another one, the small one, is 7 years old. We woke up at 6:30. There was a lot of sirens. And my husband said it sounds different than the other times that we had sirens. And we went to the safe room. We took the kids. And after a few minutes, Tal said that he needs to go because he's in the control team of the kibbutz. It's 10 people from the kibbutz that they just need to wait a few minutes that the army will arrive. They have equipment, but you know, Tal is a regular person. He's a mechanical engineering. He works in a factory. He just knows to protect the kibbutz for a few minutes, not more. For any danger will come. And he went, and I stayed with the kids. And around 8:30, I think we started to hear shooting. I thought this is the army, help us. And then I called Tal and I asked him what is going on. He said, everything is okay. I cannot speak with you right now. Just a regular conversation of every day. This is Tal. And after a few hours, I texted him in WhatsApp, and I thought that the message never arrived. And we got a formal message from the kibbutz that they said that there are terrorists in the kibbutz. And I start to feel something is wrong. I saw that some people from the control team, they came back and Tal didn't. And I start to ask questions. And all the day, during the day, we are in the kibbutz, in the safe room, me and the kids. And I know for a few days that I'm pregnant. It was the beginning. And you know, it's not a very good feeling in the first weeks. And just at 9 p.m., just in the evening, we got 10 minutes to take everything we can and go to another place in the kibbutz to be together, then the army can protect us. The army arrived just at 2 o'clock afternoon. And then Tal's aunt, she told me that Tal's phone was located in the Gaza Strip. I took my kids, I took my phone, I showed them in Google Maps where is Khan Yunis. I took my parents, I took Tal's father, and I told them that Tal is probably kidnapped and that I'm pregnant. They tried to be happy, but they couldn't, of course. And after another day, they took all of us, the whole community, to Eilat. It's 3 hours far from Nir Yitzhak, from the kibbutz. And then from October 9th, actually, we are in Eilat. We never came back home, and we will not come back this year also. And after 2 months that I'm waiting, and I was sure, I really was sure that Tal is alive. I felt it, that he is alive. And we got the message that he is not. Tal felt in October 7, fall. In October 7, in protect the kibbutz, protect me, protect the family, protect the people he likes, and protect everything that he believes in. And I had to make decision if I'm doing a funeral or not, because the body is hostage by Hamas, is held by Hamas. And I decided to do for the kids, to make some closure. And we did a funeral and we buried nothing, actually, just a helmet. And then I need to move on with my life, and I'm December, I have a few months to the birth. And I thought that it's not that important to bring him back. And I found out that I'm wrong, I'm really wrong, because the kids, they don't know how to handle this situation, because if there is no body, so maybe he's not dead. But for me, I'm sure that I trust the army in this message, but they are not, they're small. And then they asked me if something can happen to me in the birth. And I understood that I'm in another situation at all, and I need to begin everything to think in another way. And my young kids, he was 6 years old, he didn't go to school. He needs to learn to write, to read, but he didn't. They didn't actually want to go out from bed every morning, and I can understand them. And then last May, I came and I gave a birth, and I was alone in this birth. Physically, I wasn't. My parents was with me and the doctors, but I was alone. And I brought a baby to the world. This baby will never meet his father. And his father will never meet his son. But he brought a lot of happiness to the world. And while he's not crying, he's smiling. And actually, I'm tired. I'm so exhausted from to hold this situation with the 3 kids and another baby. And I'm trying to do everything I can in the efforts to bring the hostages back. And we need to bury Tal in the Israeli land, because this is the honor he deserves. And there are another two hostages in the same situation as Tal from the kibbutz. Oren and Lior, they are also fathers, and they also should come back with the all others 120 hostages. And I really want to thank you, because the most, not the most, but it's very, I'm afraid that we will stay alone with our mission in the world now, and we need your support just to see your eyes and face and to know that we are not alone. This is what we have to do, just to be together, and I'll try to do my best in my mission. And we want to come back home, but I cannot come back home until Tal will not come back, because I cannot move on with my life until he's over there. And the problem, maybe will not come. It will not ever come back, because I don't know what the body's situation, and if they know where they put him, where they put his body. And you know, Ron Arad. No, we all know Ron Arad, and this is the most terrifying thing, that he will maybe never come back home. And this is why we should do everything we can to bring them back home. And thank you again.
I hope I won't cry again. I want to tell you the story, because they mentioned here the story of the kidnap, or what happened on 7th of October. Telling you what my sister is Yarden's mother. All the rockets, everybody heard it. It was in the news. It was everywhere. It was everywhere. And she was talking with, first of all, Yarden sent her. She's living also nearby in Kibbutz Elim. It's nearby. They live, Biba's family live in near Oz, that is very close to the border. And he was worried about his mother, and he sent her, try to find a place to hide. And meanwhile, he was talking with his sister. Meanwhile, my sister talked to her friend in the UK. And they start in the WhatsApp. They start talking in the WhatsApp. And I forgot her friend name. She was saying, "Oh, I can see what's happening there," and kind of for kidding or something like this. And she said, I don't know. It looks like the kidnaps, or we didn't know yet at that time." And she sent the picture of Shiri and Yarden to my sister. And she said, "This is my grandson. This is my grandson. This is Shiri." Said, "You are kidding. You are kidding me." No, I know my grandson. And we then start immediately to look on the media, to start to find more evidence on what happened. And that time we start to look and to try to find Yarden in the picture. So we know that time that Shiri and the both children were kidnapped. Everybody, I think all of you knows the picture of her holding the two babies. We couldn't find Yarden. And I'm telling you from the last, we said, okay, we know that they are kidnapped. What is happening with Yarden? Yarden is a man. He has a gun. He has a gun. We couldn't find him. He wasn't at home. I thought that we couldn't find him around. I thought that they killed him and put him somewhere else or something. I don't know. I was 100 sure that he was dead. Then we start looking on the media and start to looking for pictures. And then we saw the picture of him holding, hurt, but alive. So we know that he was also kidnapped. And that's where we were a little bit of hope. I mean, kidnapped, but alive. So we said, okay, they will be home. They will be home soon. Now, almost 300 days, and they are not back. And now I'm going to tell you about what the perspective of Free. I don't know if you met her. She's Yarden's sisters. She was talking with Yarden on the phone, on the WhatsApp. And Yarden tells her in the WhatsApp, sis, they are here. She said, stop kidding. Okay, no. He said, no, I can hear them outside. And she was still, can't believe that. And she was kidding. And she was telling him, you have a gun. And he said, yeah, but they have rifles. Then she understand that the situation is very bad. And then he said her, bye sis, love you. And this is what the end of, sorry, 1 minute. No, I will have to say it. This was the end of the session. But this sentence, nobody wants to hear sentence like this, where everybody wants to hear it on the right time, not in this time. So right now, we are hoping that there will be, that it will be at the end of the, and they will be released. We are putting everything that we can. We are doing everything that we can. And what, something that you have to know, I don't know why. This session is the most emotional session that we had. Everybody's crying. So thank you very much.
Okay. It's very difficult to speak after Yair and after each one of you. My name is Shuli Davidovich. I used to be a diplomat here. I was a spokesperson of the embassy in London, so I see some very friendly faces and friends here. And I'm here in a different capacity. Normally I'm the head of Bureau for Jewish Affairs and World Religions, so having regular contacts with your communities regarding anti-Semitism, relations between Israel and diaspora, relations between Israel and other religions, the Anglican Church and many others. But I'm here in a different capacity. I'm the Ministry of Foreign Affairs coordinator for the hostages and missing. It's a capacity I'm holding around 2.5 years ago. Normally escorting the families of Hadar Goldin, Oron Shaul, Abera Mengistu, and Hisham Asayed, who are in the hands of Hamas for the last 9 and 10 years. And unfortunately, since the 7th of October, we are in a different mode in Israel, and also you are in a different situation. Luckily, over 100 hostages were rescued, either some of them in commando operations. Then the majority were released in the previous hostage deal back in November. But we have a commitment, we have a huge task upon us, and this is to bring back all 120 hostages. Among them, there are hostages from 24 nations, Israel and 23 other nations. Actually, there were 29 nations who had hostages. US, UK, France, Austria, Germany, Romania, Argentina, Russian Federation, Ukraine, Bulgaria, Hungary, Brazil, Mexico, South Africa, Germany, of course, Thailand, Nepal, Philippines, Tanzania, Jews and Arabs, non-Israeli at all. Some of them who came to celebrate in the Nova party, but some of them came to work in the kibbutzim as agriculture workers to feed their families back home. And they're still among those 120 hostages. There are 8 workers from Thailand. There is a student from Tanzania and a foreign worker from Nepal. And there are Muslims, there are Bedouins, and there are Israelis and other nationalities. It means that not only Israel has the biggest challenge to bring back an obligation, and this is our moral obligation, to bring back each one of the hostages, the living and the dead. There are formally 46 hostages who are not alive. There is a special committee that declare death without a body based on intelligent information, images, and more. This is a very tough decision to take because, as Ella said, how can you trust a decision without having a body? But this is also, for some, it's a closure. At least there is no uncertainty, and this is something that nobody wants to go through. We know that that for the UK, bringing back the hostages, including the 5 British hostages, is a bipartisan commitment, and we cherish and we applaud the British government, the former one and the current one. I see Stuart. Sir Stuart Pollack, for everything that was done so far and for everything that your government is doing. But it's not enough. We have a window of opportunity. We are the closest that we have ever been to a deal to bring everyone back home. And there is a deal on the table that Israel, the mediators, of course, the leading mediator is the United States of America, together with Qatar and Egypt and UK and all the rest of the nations who support this deal and who are in favor of this deal. Israel is willing to pay a very heavy price, and as we speak, there are brave soldiers who are fighting to bring back each one of these hostages. Our soldiers know that they might be killed, but the one mission they have in front of their eyes, apart from protecting their own homes, is to bring back each one of them. And we have this commitment because if we won't have our brothers and sisters back home, and we all feel that we have new family members, and there is no Israeli that don't know each one of these faces, and you are included, the Israeli people and the state of Israel and our nation will not be the same. We have to do it for our own sake. Pidyon Shvuim is the most important mitzvah in Judaism, and it's not a political issue, it's a moral obligation. For us who failed, we have this commitment to bring each one back home, and we need the UK, we need the US, we need Germany, Austria, and all the rest, and all the democratic world, and even the non-democratic world to say, we cannot let Hamas and Sinwar dictate the Israeli people's life. And for each one here in the room, we need a closure. And I want also to recognize another hero here in the room who is very quiet. Ortal Chaimi. Ortal is the Tamdi. Ortal is the aunt of Tal. And she is also a member in the communal emergency team of Nir Yitzhak of the kibbutz. And during the 7th of October, she was managing the kibbutz. She knew what happened, and she had her own family as well to rescue. But she kept everyone in one place because she knew that she had a whole community to protect. So, toda raba for everything you are doing. And if I may also, on behalf of everyone here, the embassy, the amazing families, the team who came, Reuven Israeli, the family liaison officer from the IDF, who will speak in a minute, Lotan, who is outside, who is a joy, sorry. And Michal Adiri, she is the psychologist of this delegation. We want to thank you, the community, the amazing community of the UK. We know that sometimes it's not easy for you as well. We feel your solidarity, we feel your hug. This is very important for us, and we know that you fight for us. But you should know that we care about you. We know that the level of anti-Semitism is very high here. It's not easy for you, for your children to go to universities or to wear kippah or to go to a restaurant. We owe you a lot. And Am Yisrael Chai, thank you.
I'll try to be short. My English is kacha kacha. Hebrew or English? Okay, I will speak English, okay. I have a wish. I don't want to knock any more doors and to bring the message. This is my duty from October 7th. I was the one that gave the message to Ella. It's very difficult duty to do. I'm a lieutenant colonel in the IDF. I'm a father to 3 children. I'm a Saba. I have 1 grandchild. We call it in Israel Sabon, young Saba. The difficult to come to say the family, the message is coming from a lot of thoughts why this October 7th happened to us. The first answer, we lost our trust. Trust in the value that we all grow on them. It's difficult to me when I put the army uniform every morning in Miluim, and I ask myself, what happened to our trust? And I decided that we'll do all our best, also this delegation, to come to all over the world, to the Jewish people, and bring back our trust in each other. because this value stand with us for 2,000 years and more. We must bring them back. The second thing I thought about, we need courage to change people's heart and mind. And if we'll not be, we took our courage out and we'll be strong and go to all the communities all over the world, the pressure will be not enough. This is the time. Today is Yud Zayin B'Tammuz. We have 3 weeks up to Tisha B'Av. And these days, we need to think to ourselves what we are going to do tomorrow morning. And the third thing that I thought about, to be proactive. We need to do something that will change this situation, that you had these amazing people here, that every moment that I have the privilege to be with them, but when I'm going to my room, I ask myself if the guilty is on my shoulders. 2 of my child, they are in the army. My daughter, she's a kabanit. You know what is a kaban? Psychologist.
Mental officer.
Mental officer in Givati. And my young son is in there in Gaza. And my wife in Petach Tikva, and I live in Elat. And I want this situation to be back. I want to be back in my home. I want to see another life. But it couldn't happen if we are not going to be proactive. So I believe that your people, amazing, that you know to hug and to do proactive things. We've been now in the parliament. We heard Deputy Prime Minister, and we sure that your government go to do things. But if we are not going to do anything, nobody do this for us. My father told me, if you don't deal with something that went wrong, he will deal with you. So I can't say no more. Bring the trust back, be courage, and be proactive. Thank you very much.
I think we have time for a few questions, if there aren't any.
Technology is not my strong point. It's not so much a question because I think you have probably been asked so many. I hope that I speak for everybody here when I say I cannot ever possibly imagine what it must be like to be sitting where you are with hundreds of people looking at you. I cannot imagine having the bravery and the courage that each of you have. And I know that one of you mentioned that you feared that you were alone. And I wanted to reassure you that whether any news that comes out is good or bad, we are there with you every step of the way. You are not alone. You are never alone. It is a revolting world out there, but I think one thing everybody, or the Jewish community in the UK, can say from October the 7th is that we have never, ever felt stronger as a tribe, as a family, and we are with you, so please don't ever, ever think we are not.
Isn't Hi. I just wanted to say thank you very much for coming here to see us. It's so difficult for you to face the situation. And I just wanted to know, in view of that, how difficult is it for you to have to fight members of your government, for them to acknowledge your situation and try and improve it?
About fighting the government, and there are a lot of opinions in Israel. There are 120 families, and there are 240 opinions. So we have decided that every family should do whatever it thinks best to release her loved one back home. If a family thinks she needs to fight the government, it's right to do so. If some other family thinks it should hack the government and support them, it has the right to do that. So I don't think this is not normal. I think we are a democratic country, and in a democratic country there are a lot of opinions, and most of the people of Israel are supporting the release of the hostages and make the deal as soon as possible.
I want to add something. I want to add more later about what he said. In each Saturday, there is in Tel Aviv, there is called the Kidnap Square. This place, the hostages. They are not the hostages. They name it like this. It wasn't name, of course. Each Saturday, there is no, it's not a rally. It's kind of a gathering, kind of a gathering of the families that are speaking there on the stage, and all the crowd around them. We are shouting not just for to the air. We are shouting to everybody to hear us, and the government is hear us as well. Everybody can hear us. We are telling that we want deal now. We want to bring them home now. Everybody is shouting this, and they can hear it. Everybody in the government can hear it. So this is also part of the effort that you're doing against or with our government.
I just want to add one thing. Of course, we are the government, and I think the beauty about Israel is the fact that everyone is entitled to have his or her own opinion. Of course, as civil servant, we can't tell you our opinion, but it's obvious that among all the hostages, you see, I mean, this is the Israeli society. Hostages are from the right and from left, religious, non-religious, Shasnik and Haredim, and as we say in Hebrew, Datlashim, those who were religious, and there are not people from settlements and from Tel Aviv. It's not a political issue, it's about our life. And I can assure you, based also on previous experience, the Israeli government, I mean, the Biden plan is the Israeli plan. He endorsed the Israeli plan, and there is full commitment to bring each one of the hostages back home. perhaps there are different opinions in the Israeli cabinet or in the coalition of the way and the pace, etc. But also in the first deal, only three ministers voted against. It's obvious that the deal will be voted for in the Israeli government. Perhaps there will be some who will have some reservations, or perhaps they will vote against, not because they don't care or they don't think that each one of the hostages must come back home. It's just the way is different, but we can assure you that the only goal is that everyone will come back home and the Israeli government will vote for it, because in the end of the day, without bringing back everyone, we won't be the same nation, and our society and the state will not be healed. And because Iran and Hezbollah and the Houthis and the Houthis in the Yemen and the Shiite militias in Iraq, that they are all directed, financed, and trained by Iran. They are just waiting to fight stronger against us, and the whole issue will be resolved by bringing all our hostages back home. And we know that the world is asking for a ceasefire in Gaza, but there is one condition, and we will not give up on it, that all our hostages will come back home. And if the world wants peace and love in Gaza, and they want the Gazan people to live in prosperity, unless Hamas will decide otherwise, they need to work harder, and the voices of the entire world and the coalition of good against evil needs to be prevailed.
Hey, can you hear me? Yeah. So firstly, I just want to say how inspired I am by all of you. I'm just a young Jewish guy living in London, but just seeing you guys here today, the courage you have, the fact you come here, gone out of your way to come and speak to us, share your story, despite everything you're going through, it's truly amazing. And I pray for the hostage return every day, as we all do. As a young Jewish person, I want to ask you guys, I feel like you have the best answer. What would be your message to the up-and-coming generation of Jewish people for the future today? Anything you have at all, because ultimately our Judaism is all we have. Israel is the most important place in the world. And feel very, very lucky to have seen you all today. So thank you. Question was,
Yeah.
what's the key message that you guys,
Okay. First of all, I can say that at the first 2 weeks, I thought I didn't want to stay in this world because my son have been through such an horrific experience. But I have 2 other daughters, and they need me. And I think that I'm not going to change the way I'm raising my children. And I will always teach them to accept the other, to be, to try to help as many people as they can, and be strong and united, and cherish every moment you have together as a family, as a community. And this is the main message, because I think through love we can succeed more than spreading hate. And I had a group of if you know Taglit, where
Birthright.
okay. So I spoke with some, they're not children, but, and one of them asked me if I will let my daughter go to join the IDF. And because she's 17 and next year she'll be recruited to the IDF. And I said, this is her life, this is her choice. She deserves to have the childhood she's supposed to have, even though her brother is in an unbelievable situation. And I will do whatever she needs, even though it's hard for me as a mother. And I think the main message is to keep on spreading love and being united as a community. That's the main thing.
Do we have another one?
Well, we came here to try and inspire you. And there's no doubt that you've inspired us, because the bravery, as somebody said before, that you guys show, and I've met, sadly, many of your colleagues and many of your friends who've also got their families and their loved ones being held or sadly died and murdered. Your bravery is beyond words. And the fact that we're with you, we are. But I do think that we as a community, we turn up and we come to events like this, but that's not enough. It's not enough. Everybody has a platform. Everybody has kids who are on the phones the whole day. Make sure they're doing these stories. I mean, I know that the first time I spoke about this in the House of Lords, I wanted to talk about an individual. It was Ada Sagi, who has been back to have dinner with me in the House of Lords recently. We need to personalize this, because in the end, these are your children, your family. And we all have a platform somewhere, and we all need to do it. We had a group of Lords who met with your Prime Minister, with Netanyahu, a few weeks ago. And I ended the meeting, and I think this is relevant for all of us. I ended the meeting in saying that there's just one difference between the Jews of Israel and the Jews of the diaspora. And that is that the Jews of Israel, although they were late on the day, I accept that, have the IDF. The Jews of the diaspora, wherever we are, we don't, of course. And whilst it's not quite the same, it is difficult. I was in New York 2 weeks ago, and it's bad there. This is not great. So your message to us all to be a family is one. My message to everybody is, where you've got a platform, use it.
Thank you. Time for one last question.
So I first of all just want to say thank you so much for coming, and we're all praying and demanding for the release of your loved ones. So since 7th of October, my friend and I have been running the social media for the Hostages and Missing Families Forum, connecting with some of the social media accounts of your loved ones. And we've had many posts which have reached thousands of people every single day. But I just wanted to ask, what could we be doing more to raise awareness to your loved ones, or any initiatives that we can be doing on the social media to let it reach more than 20,000 people daily, and to reach, the world, and to raise the voices of your loved ones?
I think that if you add the personal stories, if you can have personal interviews, I think that will reach more people and will touch more hearts, maybe.
You can also, I think most of the families has specific tags in Instagram. You can tag everybody. There is a tag of the headquarters. You can tag everybody. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever you can. There are some influencers that doing interviews with us, so you can also if it's share. You can also share it uh, in your social media.
Agada, yes, a moment. We can use what we said in the Agada. והגדת לבנך. Every day, every hour, to tell the stories that you heard. This is one. And then we have also in our rights, מנעי קולך מבכי ועינייך מדמעה, ושבו בנות ובנים לגבולם. If we are not going to tell the story, the 6 million, it's not a phone number of an insurance company. This is our story and your story, all our story. So let the story begin and share it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, I'm trying not to shout. It's very moving. Thank you very, very much. You know, it's wonderful that you're here. Just want to share with you that I'm trying very hard to do my bit. I've been tagged in with a load of people, and I met them for the first time on Sunday. I knew a couple of them, but we've been WhatsApping and everything, and these people have been fantastic, tearing down horrible things that they found, horrible posters, putting up pictures of all of your stuff. And on Sunday, I was so Saturday, I was so incensed that the Royal Academy had done something. I think I've just told a few people. And they left a painting up, though we talked about it with regards to two others that they took down, which were totally anti-Semitic, but they'd left one up in the main gallery. So I said, I've been a member there for 25 years. I'm going to take my membership away unless we do something. We went along, there was about 30 of us. We didn't throw paint. We didn't stick ourselves against paintings or throw baked beans or anything like that. We put on ourselves all about blood libel, and we stood in front of the painting. We never got thrown out, and people came towards us. This painting was horrible. It's called The Mass Murder of the Children of these IDF, really, basically, mass murdering everybody, of children, etc. And I can't remember the whole title, but it's a long title. And we stood there, and people came over to us, people who were not pro-Israel, but wanted to know what it was that we were trying to say. And we spent 2 hours explaining, people who were pro-us, unexpectedly, non-Jewish, and coming over, hugging us. So there's lots of others that are for Israel, pro-Israel, and pro-Jewish, because this is all anti-Semitic. And the ones that came over to us that were pro-Palestinian listened. They listened, they argued, and they listened. But we kept saying, we have to have the hostages back. And that was our message. So I just want to tell you that.
Thank you. All right.
Okay, some of you have been here for 2.5 hours. I'm very conscious. Today is the Shvasra B'Tammuz. It's the 17th of Tammuz. It's a fast day. There'll be people in the room that have been fasting, have still got a few hours to go. It's the start of that period, that difficult period between now and Tisha B'Av, that period of 3 weeks of mourning and of reflection. We're not in now 3 weeks. We've been in 42 weeks almost of this. It's been the longest build-up I think, in our lifetimes as Jewish people to the 9th of Av. I want to finish, though, just with a reminder of something I said at the beginning, which was that word tikva, that word hope, and that reminder to you that whilst optimism, as we learned at the beginning, is a passive virtue, hope is an active one. Hope is a verb, it's a doing thing. And so many of you, Ariella, this lady at the front as well, have spoken about things that you are doing. Coming along and meeting the families this evening, and we hope that you feel the love of everybody here. You've only heard 2 or 3 examples of things that people are doing. This is an audience of people that are doing things every day, whether it's in real life, whether it's online. We will continue to be with you. You are our family. We are your family. I'm going to ask everyone to please stand up and show them our love and appreciation for being here tonight. Thank you to the families.